Hey, it's Rabbi Shmuel Pollan. It's so great to have you here on the Light Unto the Nations show. We have a very important episode for you. I want to applaud you for clicking on this video because you are obviously married and you want to make your marriage better. And a lot of people just don't care enough to make it better. They're just too lazy to get it better. Or they don't want to deal with the pain inside that it takes to really make your marriage better. But you are here. You're here now. I am here. I have some stuff that's going to help you. I'm personally divorced, and I was married for 10 years, and we had 5 kids, and it was very tragic that we got divorced. Very sad. And if I had known some of the things that I'm going to tell you now, it's possible I'd still be married. There were a lot of mental illness issues and personality disorder issues, but who knows? It could have helped. It could have made a big difference. And I want to start off with a little bit of Torah, Torah learning, because I am a rabbi and we should go through what it says in the Bible. The Bible is the Moira Hira. It is that which teaches us how to live, and we're always supposed to take practical lessons from the Torah. And let me just start by saying that many studies have been done. I'm talking about secular studies, and they have found that successful marriages have the same problems that failed marriages have. The only difference is their reaction to the problems. So play that back again if you need to, because that's extremely important and that's going to run through everything that we're going to say now. Now, I want to talk about Jacob. Jacob is like the archetype for all the Jewish people. He's an amazing patriarch. So he's a Bechir Sheba'avos. He's the chosen one among all the patriarchs. So among such great people, he was the greatest. And he was meant to marry Rachel. Rachel was, it says clearly, she was so beautiful and she was so special and she was so wonderful. And that was going to be a great marriage. And then Laban, the evil Laban, he switched them. On the night of the wedding night, he switched in Leah and switched out Rachel. So Jacob wound up marrying Leah. And Leah has the numerical value of the exhausted one. She's also called in the verse the hated one. And this is what happened. He wound up marrying Leah instead of Rachel. So he must have been very upset and disappointed. But this is actually a repeat that happens for every single one of us who gets married. And happiness in general is all about managing your expectations. The lower your expectations are, the more happy you will be with whatever happens. You have to learn how to take those negative situations and turn them into positives, how to make lemonade out of lemons. But in general, low expectations is what you want. And what happens is when you date, everybody's putting their best foot forward and you all have high expectations. And when you get married, people start to feel comfortable and they let their guard down and let all their pathology, trauma, pain come out and wreak havoc on the marriage. But what you can do in response, what you're supposed to do in response, is to accept it, to not have the expectation that the person you married is going to be the same person that you actually are in the marriage, to understand and accept that they're going to be something less desirable and something that you're going to have to accept, not change. See, this is the big thing that people don't realize. You don't go into a marriage expecting to change someone. People don't really change, and you're setting yourself up for some great disappointment. It's a myth that they can change, and what they're more likely to change is their perspective, but their behavior will probably be what it will be for the next decades, and you have the ability to change in that you accept it. You can accept their way of being and love them for who they are with all their flaws. That's called unconditional love. So if you are upset about something that they do, realize that that's actually coming from your pain that you have inside from your past. So instead of saying, I hate that you do this, say, I'm in pain because you do this. This causes me great pain. And then the spouse is more likely to have compassion for you And if you're willing to open up about your pain, some can't do that. Some have a personality disorder, they cannot do that. And those people are much harder to be married with. And all I can say is if you can open up about your pain and willing to say, I'm in pain, that's a big step. And that will bring compassion instead of starting a fight. So go for acceptance, go for the recognition of the pain. And God created the world with speech, and we are created in God's image. So that means we create our world through speech. Jordan Peterson talks a lot about this in his books, how speaking the truth builds the whole world and saves us from chaos and saves us from hell, saves us from a totally destructive society. It all starts with speech. And then we have, on that note, Tony Robbins, Awaken the Giant Within. Everybody should have this book for one reason, because it has in it a vocabulary lesson. Because Tony Robbins likes immediate, quick change. And what I'm trying to give you here is immediate, quick change. And you can do that through changing your vocabulary, through changing your speech. So he has a list here of what you would normally say and then what you should say. And if you say what you should say, it will totally transform your marriage, no doubt. So if you'd say angry, say you're disenchanted. If you'd say you're afraid, say you're feeling uncomfortable. If you're anxious, say you're a little concerned. Confused becomes curious. Depressed becomes calm before action. Depressed becomes not on top of it. Destroyed becomes set back. See, it's saying the same thing. It's getting the same message across, but in such a beautiful way, a way that brings calm and peace and love to your marriage. That stinks becomes that's a little aromatic. Pissed off becomes tinkled. Disappointed becomes underwhelmed. Exhausted becomes recharging. Failure becomes a stumble. Failure becomes learning. Failure becomes getting educated. Frustrated becomes challenged. Humiliated becomes uncomfortable. Hurt becomes bothered. I hate becomes I prefer. Lazy becomes storing energy. Lonely, temporarily on my own. Overloaded, stretching. Overwhelmed, challenged. Overwhelmed, maximize. Painful, uncomfortable. Petrified, uncomfortable. Petrified, challenged. Rejected, deflected. Rejected, learning. Rejected, misunderstood. Sad, sorting my thoughts out. Scared, excited. Sick, cleansing. Stressed, busy. Stressed, blessed. Stressed, stupid. Unresourceful, discovering. Terrible, different. How different will your marriage be when you use those words instead of those words? There's no comparison. This is quick, rapid change. Thank you to Tony Robbins for this wisdom. And let's go on to the third way to fix your marriage quick. And that is the power of questions, because we are constantly in our head asking ourselves questions. And Tony Robbins gives here what questions you should be asking yourself in the morning and in the evening. So what we're going to do is we're going to translate these questions that he gives us into questions about our spouse. So number one, what am I happy about in my life right now? So that could be, what am I happy about my spouse right now? Number two, why am I excited? What am I excited about in my life right now? What am I excited about my spouse right now? Number three, what am I proud about in my life right now? What am I proud of my spouse about right now? Number four, what am I grateful about in my life now? What am I grateful about in my spouse? Find something that he does right. Find something that he does good, or just some character trait that he sometimes shows. Number five, what am I enjoying most in my life right now? What am I enjoying most about my spouse right now? What am I committed to in my life right now? How am I committed to my spouse right now? Who do I love? Who loves me? That's clear. And in the evening, you ask other power questions Like number one, what have I given today? What have I given to my spouse today? Number two, what did I learn today? What did I learn from my spouse today? Or what did I learn about how to better serve my spouse today? Number three, how has today added to the quality of my life? Or how can I use today as an investment in my future? And you can understand how that would apply to marriage yourself. Okay, so that's the three. And then we have bonus items for you. We have the lowered expectations. We have changing your vocabulary. We have asking the right questions in the morning and in the evening. And beyond that, how about making out for 15 minutes every single day? Wouldn't that make a big, quick difference? I also credit Tony Robbins for that suggestion. But hold on, before you accept that challenge, consider not touching each other, not only being not intimate, but not even touching each other for 2 weeks out of the month. Because you will find that when you pull yourselves apart, you come back like a rubber band. You come back so much closer than you were when you started. So those are really 5 suggestions to quickly have an impact and fix your marriage. I wish you all marriages that are full of playfulness and joy and love and romance and unity, and may it all come to fruition with the help of this video. May your marriages last forever. God bless.